Hello everyone, it is Mike here and welcome to another Rumble tournament. We got a great one here for you today. We're officially in the Final Four. So we have this one and two more to go after this one. And we will be done with our second tournament. But it is going to be Dan versus William. Both teams have been very impressive and they knocked off some really good teams too. You got to keep that in mind. They destroyed some really good teams, and we're kicking things off with Gus Fring, the Chicken Man from Breaking Bad. He owns his own chicken restaurant. It's it's basically his Chick-fil-A for money laundering. So it's actually not a bad idea if you're like a criminal, because I mean, how do you really determine how much you sell? And I think he does all kinds of stuff. He has his laundry mats too. Like, he has all of these businesses. He's one of the best villains in TV, and he's definitely the best villain in Breaking Bad. But anyway, Gus versus Daredevil, kicking things off. As they're eliminated, I will tell you which team they're a part of. So I will tell you which team. It is Dan versus William, and it is for the finale, for the Final Four. So the winner will go to the finale. So there's a lot at stake here. And number 3 is Captain Planet. Boo! I could care less about Captain Planet. He's just completely an oddball, for sure. We'll see who's coming in next. And number 4 is going to be Captain America. So number 4 is Captain America. And yeah, like I said, this is for the finale. And I still don't know if the champ is going to be in the finale, but that would be awesome if it does come down to that. I mean, the champ still has to defeat one team still. But yeah. We're almost done with this series, and we're probably going to have another one. We have plenty of time. So whoever wins this will come back. Their team will come back and represent, whoever wins the final one. We still have a long ways to go, and we got Freddie at number 5. And Gus, the first one eliminated. That's going to be a loss for William. Man, I picked the worst place to write on. It's like, oh my goodness, this is horrendous. I'm using a composition book. So sometimes, you know how they kind of, it's hard to explain. But sometimes it's hard to write on an uneven surface, so I need to get something even here. But that is a loss for William. So first elimination is Team William, and there goes Captain America. And that's another loss for William, and Freddie, Captain Planet, man, with a good counter there. And that's also going to be a loss for William. So not a very good start for William here. Not a good start. And we have He-Man here who is, I'm telling you, He-Man is really good. He-Man's a very good in these Rumbles. He's been terrific. He's been very excellent. And number 8 is Jiren. And Jiren can cause a lot of problems also. And things are getting very interesting here. I don't know a lot about Jiren. I know he's from Dragon Ball Z, I believe. He may be in the later one in the show, or actually, I think he could be from the movies. I'm not for sure. You all can educate me on that. You always do. And I'm only familiar with the show. I mean, I'm not familiar with Boris and the cat-looking guy, or I don't know his deal or his backstory or anything. I'm not even very familiar with Broly. And we got Walter White, so we had Gus Fring, and now we got Walter White. And the funniest thing is they're on opposite teams, so that's kind of fun. Of course, they worked together for quite some time, but you would have to watch the show to see how their business relationship turned out. But I consider Waldville, to be honest with you. I know technically he's an anti-hero, but toward the end of the show, I mean, it has some of the best character art I've ever seen in any show. You start off, this is a guy who has, who's dying of cancer, has very little money, is extremely smart, but at the same time, very underappreciated, very underpaid, just way above, like his level of genius is way above what he's doing with his life. And so you start off at that, and by the end of the show, he's a complete psychopath that only looks out for himself. It's just so amazing how writing can do that with a character, and it still blows me away. And we've had a couple of people enter ever since I went on my little good tangent about Breaking Bad, which is my favorite show of all time. It is my favorite show. And Jiren is going to try to take out He-Man here. And wow, that's a big elimination for Dan. So a big loss for Dan. And Jiren with the takedown there, and Walter White pushing Captain Planet off. Yeah, Walter White's definitely not good for the environment. Seeing what he cooks, So Dan lost He-Man, definitely one of Dan's best people, but Dan still has a lot of great people. So does William. They both still have a lot to offer left in this tournament and in this matchup. And Daredevil somehow survived. I don't know how he survived that, but he made it out. Barely. I mean, he survived that by a second. If he would have been a second before he rolled back in, it would have been over. So we'll see how far he can go. I don't think he's going to go too far, being that he's a light heavyweight and all. But I wouldn't underestimate him. He can hear really good. And number 12 is Dark Sub-Zero. And I know we switched this one out before, and William had a different version. I had trouble finding him when I had to move William's people on the other account. So that's something that happens every once in a while, and I hate to do it, but you'll probably see these two get switched out some. Whether it be the regular Sub-Zero or the dark one. And Jiren's been eliminated. So that's going to be a loss for Dan. Big loss for Dan. Another big loss. So he's lost He-Man and Jiren really early into this. And those are some of his best guys, for sure. And Billy the Butcher still in this. I think Butcher and Homelander are on the same team, which is just crazy. And there goes Butcher. That's going to be a loss for William. I've kind of memorized a couple people on the teams. So There's still some that I'm not for sure which team they're on, and I'm going to have to look at. But I've already seen these teams twice now. So I know some of these people and what team they follow. And number 13 is Leon Kennedy, or like Salazar would say, Mr. Kennedy. That was good. That was good. And, elimination there. And I believe it was Bagul. So, from Sinister. And Bagul has been eliminated. That should be a loss for Team William. Yes, that is a loss for Team William. Team William is kind of in alphabetical order. So they're kind of easier to spot. And some of Dan's team I've memorized pretty good. Number 14 is Homelander. Oh, wow. So Homelander in the house. And that's going to be fun. Did we ever lose Daredevil? Let me look. No, Daredevil's still in. Wow. I did not expect him to do as well as he's been doing. For sure. I did not expect that. He's almost made it halfway. And, he's a light heavyweight, and I think his overall is just decent. It's not, I don't think it's 100. It could be. But number 15 is Mike Tyson. So now we have Mike Tyson here, and Tyson, on the first one we did, he wrecked house. He destroyed everyone in his path. We'll see how good he does tonight. And Captain Planet, I'd watch out for him because he's actually doing okay. And he's been doing good lately, which is like a shocker to me because I've never liked him, but whatever. And Leon has been eliminated, so that's going to be a loss for Dan. And sometimes there's people that I like Leon, like Homelander, and I know what team they're a part of, or Walter White. And I know what team they're a part of because they're some of my favorite characters, and I just remember that easier than, for an example, someone like Captain Planet. I think I know what team he's on, but what a counter there by Walter White and Buff Among Us, both done, and I think it's going to be a loss for both teams. Yes, a loss for both teams. So Dan lost Captain Planet, and William lost Buff Among Us, which is a big loss too. And Homelander with a spear on Tyson. Wow. Wow. What a deadly spear. And number 16 is Dash. I had trouble finding Dash a little while back when I did the Elite 8 matchup. And he was such a pain. And I'll tell you how sensitive 2K is with their hashtags. I had him in, I put in, I think, Incredible. And, no, I put in Incredibles because, that's what he's a part of. And it only recognized Incredible. So once I took the S off, I could find him. So you got to really watch how you do your hashtags. It's very sensitive. And we got Art the Clown at number 17, who is extremely deadly and terrifying. He's been really good in this series, too. He's been extremely good. And Tyson trying to eliminate Homelander. And Homelander is sticking it out. Homelander's still alive. I would love to see Homelander versus Art the Clown. That would be cool. Homelander would obviously win because he could rip him apart. Even though Art seems to be immortal to a degree, he still has the weakness if he loses his head. Seems like it, puts him back some. But I still don't know the whole lore behind Art because they haven't revealed everything. And another elimination, Tyson, with that elimination. Couldn't see who it was. Oh, it's Count Orlock. He just got here, too. And that's a loss for William. So another loss for William. And Dan is winning right now. But we still have a long ways to go. And Daredevil finally done. So Daredevil is finally finished. And that's going to be a loss for, I think it's going to be Dan. And Dash has been eliminated. And that's a loss for William. And Walter White is going to be a loss for Dan. It looks like he's going to get eliminated here too. And man, they're flying out. I'm going to try to keep track of everyone. I never can. And Indiana is number 19. Daredevil's a loss for William, by the way. It's not Dan. That was one that I wasn't for sure on. But all the other ones I got right. But what a matchup it has been. And, well, look, Captain Planet got eliminated. Oh, I got him. I made sure I marked him off the list. And number 20 is him. But we really need to watch some of these, Tyson and Art can be deadly. Homelander can be deadly. Him's not going to really do anything. And as for Indiana Jones, it's about time he gets his Social Security. That needs to be the next movie. Where he finally gets to be in a retirement home. And he has to find what LPN stole his wristwatch or something. That's going to be the new. That's just so messed up. And number 21 is Captain Jack Sparrow. Yeah, the new Indiana Jones movie is somebody's been stealing from the nursing home, and it's a special watch that's worth tons of money, and he has to escape the nursing home and find the watch. While he's drugged up on all kinds of meds. So that would be a crazy idea. That would definitely be crazy. And Homelander fighting back. Good counter. And number 22 is Omega Red. So 22 Omega Red. One of my personal favorites. And Indiana Jones. Dark Sub-Zero. You got to watch out for him too. He's been impressive also. And Tyson is done. That's going to be a loss for Dan. So Tyson is out of the way. And definitely a big loss for Dan. And I love watching Tyson. Whether it's boxing or this. He is my favorite. He's definitely my favorite boxer. I put him over Ali any day of the week. I don't like Ali's style. I like Tyson's style. Just go in there and kill him. Ali's style is I don't like the whole rope-a-dope thing. And I really do not like that move. I know it's clever and it's genius and it's a good strategy, but I do not like rope-a-dope. If you've ever seen it, I like Tyson. Just go in there and just make them wish they were dead. And Dark Sub-Zero has been eliminated, so that's going to be a loss for William. So according to this, Williams should only have 5 people left, and Indiana Jones is a loss for Dan. No, wait a second. I got it confused. It's a loss for William. So now down to 4. And it is not looking good for Team William. Not at all. Yeah, it's not looking good at all for Team William. Not at all. He's got 4 people left. Only 4. And maybe I missed one for Dan, but it's still not good. It's still not good. A lot of Dan's people are already in here, but I have to mention that 3 of William's people are also in here. So that is not good at all when you have 4 people left. Now, who knows what the 4th person's going to do or when they're going to come in, but it looks like we're getting a landslide, kind of, with 2K, which happens all the time now. And number 24 is Bane. So we got one from Team Dan here. I'm telling you, Team Dan is stacked. Team William is too, but Team Dan is stacked with some heavy hitters. Bane, Tyson, Omega Red, He-Man. I mean, it's a really good team. It's a really good team. Jiren, Art, pretty solid team. And they still have people left. And William only has 1 person that hasn't come out yet. And number 25 is Red Ranger Ninja Storm, who has also been really good in this series. There's always characters you don't want to underestimate that are really good, that can cause all kinds of problems. And look at Danny Phantom. I always thought Danny Phantom was super cool, and him got interrupted by Danny Phantom before he could do anything. Yeah, I always thought Danny was pretty cool. Pretty cool character. And Homelander, is Homelander going to take out him? Him is not going to be a big loss, but he is part of Team William. Him is part of Team William. And, Team William needs all the people he can have. And number 26 is Davy Jones, so that is Williams' 4th person here. So Williams' 4th person has arrived, and definitely not a good thing. And him has been eliminated, so that is a loss for William. And he is now down to 3. All 3 are in the ring. I bet Dan is extremely happy right now. But it's not over. If Homelander's been in here for a while, and so has Art. So that just goes to show that if you can last long, and Bane's going to be a loss for Dan. So Dan loses another one there. And Homelander taking out Davy Jones, another loss. And Dan lost Danny Phantom. So another loss for William. He is now down to 2. And they're fighting one another. So we'll see what happens here. And 27 is Piccolo. So the rest of these people are Dan's people. He's got 28, he's got 29, he's got 30. And it is not looking good for Team William unless Homelander or Captain Jack Sparrow can somehow survive this. Which it's not looking good for either one of them. I mean, but Art and Homelander have been in here for quite some time. For quite a while. And Art and Homelander, they're both a beast. Two of my favorites. And number 28 is Black Noir. So Homelander's buddies here. Well, I wouldn't say that's technically his buddy. It's a long story. Let's just say that. They've had their, in season 1 and season 2, I think Homelander and Noir got along better than all the rest of the 7. They were on the same page, but I think after season 3, now it's a weird situation as we're going into season 5 of The Boys, which I highly recommend. It's a very gross show, very, very vulgar too, but a great show, great writing, and cannot wait for season 5. And I know everyone says that Homelander's, he's the evilest villain and all that. And he's a great villain. He's an evil person, but he's a great villain. But I have to admit, I want to see the Deep eat it more than any of them. The Deep is someone I can't stand. Homelander has a very good story. The Deep is just annoying. And I just want him to get it. I know Homelander's technically more evil, but I actually think he's a great character, written-wise. And Peter Pan's number 30. What a battle here. And William's still hanging on. He's still hanging in there, hoping that he can survive. Still got his two people, Homelander and Sparrow. But the odds are really against him as it's 2 versus 6. Oh, there goes Peter Pan. So that was number 30. That's not a big loss for Dan. Dan knows that's his worst person. And it looks like Dan lost somebody else too. So, wow. So William's starting to make a little bit of a comeback. Not that Peter Pan's going to make a difference because he never does. But who was the other? It was Black Noir. So, not the, Dan still has his best people. And Sparrow is fighting for his life here. And he might be next. I mean, he's been in here for a while, and he's finished. So, it's all down to Homelander for Team William. It's a good pick, but he's been in here for a while. So it doesn't really matter how great you are. If you've been in for forever, it can really wear on you. So has Art, though. Art has been in here forever. Both of those two. I would love to see a final showdown between the two. That would be great. That would be a match made Well, I would say heaven, but it's obviously hell. And there goes Piccolo. So, wow. Now it's 25% chance for William. And there goes Homelander. So Team William is finished. And it is now Dan is going to the finale. So Dan, congratulations. What a team. And William tried to hang in there. He definitely had, the numbers against him. There's no doubt about it. But, I mean, if you're Dan, you have to take the win. You have to take the win. And now we're down to 2. And, wow, Art has been going in this. And I wonder if he's going to finish it all the way. Unbelievable. And that's another win for Art. So the Terrifier has been unstoppable. He's just been crazy. He's going to WrestleMania. He was in here since 17 or 18, around that range. So he's going to WrestleMania, and that was an incredible performance. And Dan is going to the finale. So I don't know who Dan's going to be facing with yet. But he's going to the finale, and Art earned it again. He's just been incredible in this tournament series. And he's been borderline unstoppable. He just destroys anyone in his path. And Team Dan has to be thankful to have this. And he definitely had the numbers on his side tonight. It did not favor William at all. But William was favored before. So it just... one day, 2K will love you. The next day, it'll hate you. That's how it goes around here. But congratulations, Dan. You're going to the finale. I wish you the best of luck because you're going to need it. No matter who wins this next one. You're definitely going to need it, but you have a solid team. And I can't wait to see what happens. So will Dan win the finale? Or will the other team win? We'll find out soon.